welcome to Half the Battle.
The last time we looked at the comic, it was a fun adventure with the Defiant and Cobra's own shuttle. The review was a good time with lots of jokes and Spaceballs references.
We had a lot of fun, didn't we?
Today's issue is set in a concentration camp.
So, yeah, bit of a tonal shift. Well, let's dig in, shall we? Yay?
We're taking a look at issue 66, The 10th Letter. The cover shows Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow sneaking up on a woman who's about to shoot somebody. That doesn't happen in the comic, but that's par for the course. The opening page, opening 2 pages, have Storm Shadow and Billy practicing Kuji no In, which is a real thing that I'm not gonna get into because the Wikipedia page on it is as long as my arm, and I don't really care.
Go look it up if you want. I'm here to make dick jokes, not study ancient Japanese and Chinese rituals.
It's making hand gestures that represent phases of the state of mind or something. Oh yeah, I made a whole extra video on finding a sound clip of Polly saying boobs, but this is where even I tap out. Though I will say the 7th hand symbol is highly suspect. They are thankfully interrupted by Jinx, who has figured out where the captured Joes are being held, and where Scarlet, Snake Eyes, and the Bland Master have ended up. I recognize her walk. It's Scarlet.
How do you recognize a walk from a still photo?
Yes, as seen in the previous issue, they have run away and joined the circus that is currently performing in Finsk? Between this and the ninja stuff, I'm gonna be mispronouncing so much this episode. There's nothing there except a gulag, making the camp guards wonder why they even bother performing there. The camp sergeant figures out it's because the white clown is looking for Magda, his lost love who was sent to one of the gulags. The sergeant isn't very helpful. In fact, he's a complete asshole.
Big surprise there.
Scarlet tries to help, but they're smart enough to know they have their own reasons for being there. And as if on cue, Stormy, Jinx, and Billy show up. Now, I know this is just a perspective, he is standing behind the other two, but Billy does look like a little kid here. Orlovsky, the human cannonball, spots them doing their whole this is a church, this is a steeple finger bang thing, and figures out what they're up to, and tells the white clown they could rat Team Ninja out in exchange for information about Magda. Later, at the gulag, a prisoner has escaped. To the sergeant's disappointment, it isn't Stalker, but he goes after the escapee anyway for target practice, leaving Olga to discipline the other prisoners.
Which means it's time to talk about Olga.
She was probably inspired by 2 real-life people, real-life monsters I should say. Ilsa Koch, also known as the Bitch of Buchenwald, among other nicknames, and Irma Gress, known as the Hyena of Auschwitz.
These were not nice people.
I won't go into their numerous crimes against humanity here. Look them up if you want, but it's not a fun read. They were also the inspiration for Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS. Given Larry Hama's knowledge of history, it's more likely Olga was solely based on the real-life Nazis, though one can't rule out the possibility Ilsa was a factor too. Hey, remember last time with space pew-pews and Spaceballs jokes?
Good times, good times.
Anyway, just as the sergeant leaves, the ninja's silent assault on the camp begins, taking out the guards at the gate and in the tower. While they're doing some quiet violence, Olga is doing some loud violence, punching and shooting a prisoner for not talking about the escape attempt. She turns her attention to everybody's favorite informant, Boris, who tries to pin it on Snowjob, which is incredibly stupid since he's been bedridden for weeks.
You should have just blamed Stalker, dude.
Sure enough, Olga doesn't buy it and orders he be beaten to death so she can go to sleep listening to his dying screams. Yeah, not a nice lady. So we see him being beaten to death, and can I go back to making dick jokes soon please? When the ninjas show up to take the bastards out. And again, perspective and all that, but Billy looks like he's about 6 years old here. He reminds me of Fuyuhiko, the baby gangster from Danganronpa 2. Team Stormy enters the barracks, offering guns to the prisoners, who have developed a healthy amount of skepticism due to their time there, but are convinced by Stalker telling them they're friends.
Also,
I knew you'd come for me. Stalker, Buddy, I know you've been through a lot, and I'm sure they're there for you, but also for quick kick and snow job.
At least I'd hope so.
The Barovians declined to join the Joes escaping the country, instead electing to join the resistance in the mountains, but not before paying a visit to a certain lady. Shortly thereafter, the sergeant returns to find all of his men and Olga dead, with all prisoners gone. He decides to go after them, even though there's two of them and for all he knows, 50 armed and pissed off escapees.
What a dumbass!
Come to think of it, why is a sergeant whose expertise is sniping in command of a gulag? Shouldn't that be a job for a commandant or at least an officer?
The Barovian army must not be very big.
The Joes and friends arrive at the river that doubles as the border, but the alarm has been raised and troops are being deployed, making escape impossible.
Unless...
Help comes from a not completely unexpected quarter as the White Clown rolls up with his human cannonball, cannon.
Oh come on, it wasn't that much of a surprise.
The clown seemed like a caring, good dude who wouldn't cut a deal with almost literal Nazis. A short while later, the sergeant arrives at the border, and is told an artillery unit might have spotted them, except they have no artillery in the area. Also, a circus cannon wouldn't sound anything like army artillery, mostly because that would deafen everybody in the circus tent. So they figure out the cannon is being used to shoot the Joes into the river, and Sergeant Snipe isn't allowed to shoot across the border by the actual commandant.
Who should have been in the story from the start?
He can, however, shoot at the people on the ledge, but sees Stalker there returning the favor. And the asshole loses the duel, after which Stalker's the last to escape. And the comic ends with the White Clown stating that turning them in would mean betraying everything Magda believed in, and that they will escape.
Yeah, good luck with that.
A traveling circus isn't exactly the most stealthy of operations. Then again, considering the intelligence of the Barovian military, if he meets them, they'd probably be fooled by him miming an invisible wall between them. And that was the 10th letter.
And boy was that a lot. I mean, this was emotional.
It's the comic's darkest issue, well, so far anyway. The pretty realistic camp brutality was a lot to take in. Well, realistic, except you wouldn't have a woman guard with an all-male prison population, at least I think it was all-male. We finally get a resolution to the plot of the imprisoned Joes, which started 5 freaking issues ago, and see the whole ninja gang reunite. Including Baby Ninja. Aw, he looks so small. Also, we were introduced to the White Clown, who'd have an impact later in the series, so that's an important event. Overall, it was a great issue, but certainly gave us a lot to digest.
Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?